Hi everyone, and welcome to Sam's Gear and Tech, where we review gear and tech that I use in my outdoor and camping channel, Camping with Sam Bananas. Today I'm going to be talking about this Sheffield Machete. This is a tool that I purchased in 2020, but began relying more heavily on in the fall of 2021 when my axe handle broke, my little hatchet handle broke, and I had trouble replacing that. So I tried to see if I could get this to do the things that a hatchet would need to do. Ultimately, while exploring this tool, what I really wanted to do was find one tool, one cutting tool that I could go out and camp with. I'll talk to you more about the results on that, but first, let's talk about the specs on the machete. At the time I purchased it, it cost $20.79. This 9-inch machete features a 420 stainless steel drop point blade with a black oxide bond. Black oxide is a coating that is commonly applied to copper and steel in industrial settings to help resist surface corrosion. Just helps with the overall durability of the blade. The thickness of the blade is 0.16 inches or about 4 millimeters. The blade does feature a full tang. You can Google it if you want to learn more about the benefits of a full tang knife, but essentially it makes the blade less likely to snap off at the handle. Speaking of the handle, it's a 5-inch aggressively scalloped black ABS handle. In my experience, I found that it was pretty ergonomic and comfortable in your hand. It also comes with this sheath that I'm actually quite a big fan of. The sheath is made from a 1680D ballistic nylon. It comes with 2 snap buttons that you can use to open up the sheath more. This is meant to promote a faster draw of the knife, I believe. You can see I've broken one of the straps off here, unfortunately. I haven't really found a need to open up the sheath more like that. In my opinion, the knife draws just fine with all of the buttons snapped. It also has an integrated belt loop, which I found quite handy. Hopefully you can see that. It comes right out of the box with a 90-degree sharpened spine, which works great for striking a ferro rod. Yep, I'm out here in one of my favorite stealth camping spots. Not doing a stealth camp today, obviously doing this review video, but of course you're gonna have city noises like that. Initially, my idea for this knife when I first purchased it was to hopefully find one singular cutting tool that I could take camping with me that would do basically all the different jobs. We will talk about that at the end of the video after I show you what it's capable of. I feel like it is mainly lacking in 2 areas. First one being any type of finer cutting tasks such as creating feather sticks. It can be done. It's definitely a bit awkward and much easier to do with a regular knife. The other big issue is any type of hammering that you might want to do, such as hammering like a bushcrafted stake into the ground. It just doesn't have any type of capability to do that. What you have to do is you have to find yourself a length of stick and then cut it, and then you've got yourself a mount that you can pound those stakes down with. Now I do want to show you a couple areas where I feel like this knife, machete, whatever the heck you want to call this thing. They call it a machete. Essentially, it's a big knife. But I do want to show you a few areas, in my opinion, where this thing really shines. There you can see the knife hanging off. Very comfortable, very easy to pull out, easy to put back in. So I'm going to take this big log off first. I'm going to take, well, you can see it's quite strong there. So we're going to start right here, and I'm going to chop this log in real time so that you guys can see exactly how long it took. Then afterwards we'll saw it so we can get a clean edge, and I'll measure it with a measuring tape. I would say this is pretty reasonably sized firewood when you're just having a basic campfire for one person. Get a nice little pile of these and they're just very manageable. Didn't take a ton of effort to cut through that thing, although it is probably overall easier with a saw. Next, I'm gonna saw the end of this off, and the reason I'm gonna do that is because I want a clean edge so that I can show you a more accurate measurement when I measure it with the measuring tape. we take off some of that bark there to give ourselves a little bit of a cleaner measurement. Whoops, little bit over 2 inches it looks like there. Of course, keep in mind that results will vary based on your individual output and the density of the type of wood that you're using. This is about what we'd be working with if we were going to make a crude tent or tarp stake. Go ahead and chamfer the one end off here. You can see for these finer tasks, bigger knife works okay. It's a little on the awkward side. And for our point, so here you can see we got a pretty decent point for our stake. If we want to push that into the ground, you can really, if you're working with just dirt, you can just kind of push it in there like that. Or we just simply grab this piece we cut earlier. You can just smack it in, no problem. So this is some dead fallen wood here. So let's say we want to take a couple of these pieces. Let's say we want to take a couple of these pieces back to camp with us. I'm just going to take the one for demonstration purposes. There we go. And then once we're back at camp, this is where this thing really shines to get all these little guys off. And there you go. In my opinion, trying to use that machete to cut a piece of wood this big is possible. It's entirely unpractical. Impractical? We're gonna bust out a little bit bigger of a saw for this task because there is one more thing that I want to show you that I think that the machete does very well. Jeez Louise. Oh, even cutting it with this saw is it's a pretty serious task. Here's my hand for reference. Might as well take the tape measure out. Yeah, so you can see, what, 5.5 about? Usually in my experience, you don't usually use pieces of wood this big for campfires. Or if you do, it's just you get it going really good and then you just put this whole thing right on top. But if you've been out camping enough, then you know that sometimes firewood can be very scarce. Sometimes the only thing you can find is big pieces and you have to process them down. So this is the last thing I want to show you guys. Bada bing. Now that I am very impressed with this. It can cut or split into a big piece of wood like that. That's a pretty big piece of firewood to process down. Certainly I would say this machete can't do everything that I once hoped it could do, but it can do that, and that's pretty impressive. In conclusion, I would say that this knife, machete, whatever you want to call it, they call it a machete, is a great value for the price point, depending on what you want to do with it. If you're going to pair it with the standard trio of cutting tools, a handsaw, a knife, and then this machete, I think it could do quite well and be quite versatile for you. If you are looking for one tool that can do it all, I do think this one falls a little bit short in that regard. I do want to say thank you to everybody for stopping by. If you like this video, please do me a favor and click that subscribe button. It definitely helps out the channel. If you'd like to leave me a comment, just say hello, or you could let me know a tool that you have seen in my other camping videos that you've seen me use that you would like to see a review on. So until then, have a wonderful day, everybody, and thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye!